everyone. So again, I wanted to post another video explaining some of the concepts that you guys felt that you were a little confused on in relation to Chapter 3. In this chapter, you learned about all the criminological theories that are utilized in the field to better help criminal justice scholars understand the criminal behavior. So first, we're going to talk about general deterrence. Well, general deterrence is a concept that birthed out of rational choice and general deterrence theory. So basically, it's this concept that argues if punishments are swift, certain, and severe, then individuals will be more likely to resist or refrain from continuing in or engaging in criminal behavior. So essentially, it argues that we need to make sure that a punishment is severe. So we need to make sure that the punishment is harsh enough so that people will not engage in criminal behavior. 2, we need to make sure it's certain. So we need to make sure that once an individual is convicted of a crime, then they're going to be punished. And 2, it must be swift or celerity. We must make sure that the whole criminal process of the individual is swift and it's not prolonged. And through these 3 concepts, we will be better able to deter crime within, deter individuals from engaging in crime. That's essentially what the concept is arguing. So in regards to that, it's going to make sure that instead of focusing within general deterrence, instead of focusing on the offender, we're focusing on the majority of individuals in society. So that's a main distinction between general deterrence and specific deterrence. Specific deterrence focuses on the offender. General deterrence focuses on the main population, majority of members in society. So essentially is that what general deterrence is arguing is that we must instill fear in the general public. We must make sure that the general public refrains from engaging in criminal behavior. And how do we do that? We do that by making sure punishments are swift, they're certain, and they're severe. And we kind of make an example out of a individual in society offender. And then the general population sees that, and then that's going to keep them from engaging in criminal behavior. So that's the difference between general deterrence and specific deterrence. There was also questions about trait theories, and trait theories basically stemmed out of this notion that individuals do not just commit crimes based on this idea of rational choice and the hedonistic calculus. They're outweighing their pleasures versus their pleasures or their benefits versus their pains and the cost of crime. It's basically arguing that yes, while individuals do that, it's a much deeper. It has to do with the biological factors that are biological factors of an individual as opposed to the human choice of an individual engaging in crime. So that's where the trait theories emerge from. And your book gives an example of Cesare Lombroso with his studies of looking at different criminals and looking at their body features, looking at their head sizes, head types, and trying to figure out a certain type of criminal is more likely to engage in criminal behavior as opposed to others, just looking at their body features. But since then, biosocial theories have grown to new contemporary biological and biosocial theories that try to incorporate biology, looking at genetic factors, with sociological elements, looking at how also the environment plays a factor on whether or not an individual engages in criminal behavior. And this encompasses like your biochemical factors, that's looking at whether such diet or foods have play into whether an individual is more likely to commit a criminal act or not. It's also looking at your neurological factors. Your book talked about your neurological defects, your disorders, looking at the twin studies, the famous twin studies, looking at whether your chromosomes or your genetic factors have anything to do with you being more likely or a greater propensity towards criminal behavior. And then you have your genetic factors again, so your genetic defects. So all of these different studies emerged out of the idea that your biology and your biological and your sociological factors, are along with each other. They collaborate with each other, and that has to do with whether an individual is more likely or less likely to engage in criminal behavior. I know there was also a lot of comments about students wanted to know why the criminals that were deemed as having mental health issues or mental health defects were more criminalized in our criminal justice system as opposed to getting rehabilitative help and assistance. So that is a current issue within the criminal justice field. Dr. Duncan wanted me to let you guys know that you can actually Google the 4 tests used to determine if someone, the 4 tests of insanity that is often used within our courts and our criminal justice system to test if an individual is deemed as criminally insane, and that's how you could tell whether or not they're prosecuted by the law. So you guys can Google that, kind of get some more information to help you understand that phenomenon within our criminal justice system. And I hope this video was helpful to you all, and you guys got a greater understanding of the elements that were introduced to you all in this chapter. Have a great day.